today, pretty much like for all of 36-12-3. In fact, I've been thinking I need to teach just this section alone in the market center more often, like every now and again on team meetings and all of that stuff, but let's see what we got. This is gonna be way too big for you.
I'll take them off.
But it's a Keller Mortgage shirt.
Yeah.
So you can talk to people about that. Here's a nice KW shirt. Okay, what else we got here?
Oh, I see, when I'm not in there. I see how it is.
The good stuff comes out.
Okay, I got a pocket journal for you too.
Yes.
There we go. All right. Hey, you got some lead gen swag this morning.
That's true.
Pays to show up. I dig it. I dig it. I know. And for Ursulina, it's just gonna be me throwing candy at her all day. You're gonna get all of the Swedish Fish and Sour Patch Kids. I probably need to take some of those Swedish Fish home. My husband has like a thing for them. When I was a kid, I used to like them. As a grown up, I don't like them so much, but my husband loves Swedish Fish. Thanks, sir. The bee's knees. That were a thing anymore. All right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Her voice is like coming out of some speaker.
Oh, okay. That's, yeah. That's funny. I'll turn it off. There we go.
I was like,
Do you,
where's
so
that come
come here
from?
really quick. Just a brief pause, you guys. I'm gonna give Bonnie a brief tutorial. Okay, so we have speakers inside of this room and the kitchen. They're connected together. And then we have speakers in the hallway. They're connected together. You can run all of them.
Roll Tide, Scott.
Speakers A is in the room.
Roll Tide, Gwen.
Speakers B are out there. So
Okay,
speakers B was on, and you can see speaker A, speaker B, speaker A, speaker B.
okay.
So that's what it was. Just
All
so
of a
you
sudden,
know.
I can hear like wind hugely loud. I'm like, what in the world?
That's
You
funny.
didn't know, she was God.
Well, I was like, I'm at the place, I'm like, what? So like, we peeked out and I didn't see her. And then it happened again. And I was like, all right, something weird going on.
That's so cool. Now I know what to get Bonnie for her birthday, which is coming up soon. I snuck a peek and saw. I'm just gonna start saying weird things over the office speaker and freak her out all day. It's gonna be fun. If you guys want to play along, I'll be accepting volunteers. Okay. Here we go. Let me pull up all of our goodies here. I can share this screen with folks at home too, except for not by pushing that button. I just push the end. Meeting button instead of the share screen. There we go. So there is a packet for today. If you want to follow along at home, it is in your folder. Your in-class materials. It is called A-to-A referrals, agent-to-agent referrals. That's what we're going to be working on today. I've got my screens all set up so I can see everybody at home. Also, and we're here, agent-to-agent referrals today. We're going to start out with the goodies. With the goodies, they're gonna load. It's gonna happen. There's the link to your materials if you need them. Me and Sky, we got them here in person in the room. Okay. So there's the link to your materials. Let me see if the clicker's working. There we go. Here's what we're gonna cover today. Bump, bump, bump. Where are we at? Agent to agent referrals. Next week, just a show of hands, or if you guys want to let me know, is anybody going to Brendan Bartek class, the list like a boss on Tuesday? Is anybody going to that? Or will you guys be here on Tuesday? No, you'll be here. Scott, you'll be here 36-12-3 on Tuesday, yeah. Okay. I'll ask again on Monday too and see if we have too many of our folks going to List Like a Boss on Tuesday, then what we'll do is we'll kind of swap Monday and Tuesday session. Tomorrow, Monday's session, we're gonna be diving further into numbers, accountability. Monday's session is going to be more of a brainstorm mastermind. Okay, for everybody who's here. We're going to be looking at all of the different ways you can feed your database. We're gonna be talking about them, we're gonna be exploring them, we're gonna be sharing best practices, we're gonna be getting creative with one another on it. And then Tuesday, we talk about open houses. So that's what, that's where we're kind of starting on that piece. If we're gonna have a lot of people gone on Tuesday, then we'll tackle open houses on Monday and do kind of a mini mastermind. Okay, so we'll kind of take a look at that, but it sounds like nobody here is gonna be going to that on Tuesday. We'll be here on Tuesday, so we'll probably just go with that. And then Wednesday, teleprospecting. My slides didn't get fixed, so I'm just telling you what it is. You can look at it, but it doesn't make any sense. Wednesday is gonna be teleprospecting. Thursday's gonna be farming and door knocking. And then we do not have class next Friday. And then we kick in the following week, social media, video, organic reach, internet lead conversion, internet lead generation and conversion. And then we finish off the whole session with nurturing and following up. That'll be a week from next Thursday. So 2 weeks. We're at the halfway point. This is it. We are halfway through the session. So we are going to take a look at some of our daily success habits. We're going to look at numbers. So we know our numbers. Talk about our lead generation, tracking our numbers, and developing our skills. I have bonus swag for anyone who attends at least one day next week. So I have that. I don't have my sticky little fingers on it yet. It's coming via Amazon, but I have something special for people who attend at least one day next week. When you come that one day next week or more, you'll get special swag. So, I'm okay with the fact that I have to bribe y'all to be here. I'm real goofy. I'm kind of a weirdo. I've had to, pay people to be my friends all my life. It's nothing new. I'm just kidding, obviously. And
It's
I'd be there, but I've got to head up north here this afternoon. My daughter's got state soccer playoffs today.
congrats, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we'll see how they do.
Yeah, I will be sending some good vibes your way. What happens if she wins today? She goes to championship.
Then they advance. They got to win 5 games in a row to win the state championship. So they just got their first game for a win earlier this week. So today is game 2.
Nice. Nice. Let's see, where was I going? Oh, I'm gonna pull up numbers. Let's take a look at the market stats. Anybody pull them yet today?
I
did.
did on my side.
What'd you see, Scott?
I saw a huge increase in active listings.
Oh, did all of those coming soons?
It looked like it, but it was a big jump. It was like it went from 3,800 on my spreadsheet to 5,000 even.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And then I had a question, Anna, is the hot sheet, is that a rolling 7 days as well?
probably, if you have it, I think so. I think that's. the
Okay.
deal on that one is a rolling 7 days.
Because I was gonna get a little granular and kind of do this exercise for like different cities like Highland Ranch or Parker, et cetera.
Yeah. Okay, should probably just say I've read that, so it stops popping up. I'm sure you guys have read it, and you'll help me. So that I don't, break the rules here.
New listings.
Where were we? Let's go. 5/13/2022. It's a Friday. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I have never seen
So many new listings.
that big of a jump of new listings. That is. Yeah, and coming soon's like plummeted. So all those coming soons came on.
So Anna, it's interesting because my my homepage has different numbers than yours for some reason.
Yeah, mine's been customized slightly.
Oh, okay.
So long ago, I can't actually tell you what I changed on it. I
Okay,
know,
that's fine.
yeah, but I don't change it because I want to look at the same data set every
Yep.
time.
Okay.
So I'm sure that on a real granular level, like my numbers are different. Also, time of day, even if we were looking at the exact same metrics, but you looked at it at 10 a.m. and I looked at it at 1 p.m., things will have happened in the last few hours that would change those numbers.
Okay.
So it's between those two things. Yet we'll very likely see the same trends because I haven't customized mine in such a way that it's going to change the trends too much.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Let's hold this. Search up. All of the actives. Oh, look, that button's back again. Remember when it was gone yesterday? Where it tells us right here how many matches we have? Although we are over 5,000, so I do have to look. And what I'm going to do is I just click on the over 5,000 matches, and it's going to tell me right here. I found 551.63. All right. But weird, it was came back today. I wonder if I did something funny to mess up yesterday, or not yesterday, but Wednesday. Look at that jump in this thing. Hot dog.
A lot of active listings.
Hot dog, and all at the same time too. Here's the interesting piece. Look at pendings and what's happening with pendings. So
Going down.
not only is there an increase in new listings, but they're coming off of the market slower.
Look at the coming soon numbers. 300, 400, 500, 100.
Yeah,
And the back on markets just in the past week. So it tells me maybe the financing
yeah.
didn't go through,
Mm-hmm.
potentially the higher interest rates.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I looked at two for a buyer under 550 in Douglas County. There were two, one 13 days on market, one 23 days on market.
Yeah, wow. 23 days?
I know. The rest of them were like 6. They went on a Saturday and here they are on Friday. They haven't gone through the whole weekend.
Right.
But yeah, 23 days. I mean, it's Roxborough, so there's that.
Yeah. Yeah. Something going on with that property, huh? Probably. Or just
Probably a little like a funny house. That's been my experience out there.
yeah. Some expansive soil issues, probably not properly mitigated. The seller thinks they can actually get market value for a home that's about to fall down.
Yeah, pretty much. When you're like struggling to stay upright, trying to mess with the front door, you know something's not right.
Just put some tape on it. It'll be okay.
Oh, shoot. Oh man. it reminds me of my neighbor's house. So Donna is actually trying to work with a tenant at my neighbor's house to buy it. And the thing is darn near falling apart. It's got a foundation problem. It's like the floor is buckled. Like the main floor is buckled in places. And the seller's like, no, it's fine. Okay, dude. Good luck. Oh, man. Yep. Very, very interesting. That number we need to watch closely is the pending number, right? Closing's gonna do whatever closing's gonna do. It's pending. That's gonna show us the actual activity in the market, right? Followed by closings. The percentage of homes that actually go to closing is probably decreasing a bit right now that we're seeing more of these coming back on market, but tell you what, you're just in time for the highlight of the day. You gonna stick around and look at the market stats with us?
Sure.
Did you see all those listings come on the market today, Michael? See that? 2,100 come on this morning, or not this morning, in the last 7 days, so that we looked at it on Wednesday, so between today and yesterday, what is that, 900 listings on the market?
I think it makes sense though. I mean, we're going into peak season.
This is that time of year. Yep, school's almost out, time to get that house on the market.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right, they only have what, 2 weeks of school left?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. I'm gonna look at those pendings trickling down. So. Well, who got their Legion in yesterday or Wednesday?
I got mine in. I didn't get any of my calls in so much today. I was trying to put my data into command to keep that updated.
Okay, so doing your updates today, some of your follow-up pieces?
Yeah, I had to put some notes and updates and tags and that fun stuff.
Love it.
I got my lead gen done.
Yeah,
Not as much as I wanted to get done, but
yeah. What got in your way?
longer conversations. You know, I've been calling past clients, and raising money for Red Day,
Okay,
and I find that, you know, I'm having 30-minute phone calls. So instead of, you know, talking to 20, 30 people a day, I'm talking to 6 or something. You know, and this week I met with 3 probate attorneys. And surprisingly, I'm like, who do you send your stuff to? He's like, I don't have anybody I send my stuff to. I'm like, let's go.
Are you kidding?
What?
are you kidding?
Seriously? I just figured everybody was, like you said, it's surprising that they don't already have somebody.
They don't. You know, I emailed 300 probate attorneys. One attorney replied, was like, yeah, we send all of our stuff to a Kentwood agent or something. I'm like, well, I ain't gonna go meet with that guy. But the 3 that I met with this week, they said, yeah, we really don't have anybody.
And what do you provide in return to them?
I mean, in return, it's like, look, if I have a client that doesn't have an estate plan, I'll send them to you.
Yep.
Client
Right.
that sell a home, you send them to me.
And is there a criteria for somebody to have an estate plan? Like from your experience? Because I don't have one. But
I think everybody should have one. You know, we sell a home to, I look at clients in 3 stages of life. You have, you know, the beginning family, young couple just had a kid. What happens if the couple goes out on a date night and gets hit by a bus? What happens to the house? Who raises the kid? Right? Then
Yeah.
at the middle stages of life, where, yeah, you know, you're established, you know, but your kids are still 10, 15 years old. What happens if y'all get hit by a bus? Who gets the life insurance? Who gets the brokerage account? Who gets money in the bank? Who's raising the kids? How's the kids paying for college? Who's gonna cover healthcare? Right? And then you have, you know, the later stages of life where kids are grown. You know, and how do you make sure you convey your assets to your kids so they don't fight? At the same time, how do you,
Yeah.
Or so they do fight. It just depends on what you think about your kids, yeah.
or how do you protect your assets if you don't have long-term care insurance and you end up going into a nursing home? Well, guess what? Nursing home's gonna make you, you know, draw down your assets before Medicaid steps in and pays for anything. So
Okay.
you protect your assets, so there's something left over to leave your kids.
Okay. That's more I need to be thinking about and maybe strategically planning around. Thanks for sharing.
When me and my wife put our estate plan together, it's who's gonna raise the kids if something happens to us. And she was like my sister. I'm like, hell no, your sister's gonna raise. You know, you gotta have those conversations, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. I love that. So, so lead gen, check the box. It's great too, if y'all did that, team meeting with us on Wednesday, we started the conversation of who's in your kind of professional corner. That's another box to check. Who are the attorneys on your list? Who are the probate attorneys on your list? Bankruptcy attorneys, would be another one, divorce attorneys, right? I mean, how'd you source the list?
It's Colorado Bar Association.
Right, they have a database just like we do of licensees. Open to the public. Export in a CSV file. Import into your favorite communication device and you're gone, right? Love it.
I mean, part of it is, yeah, I'd love to just start, you know, marketing to all 300 probate attorneys, you know, but and I think you want to develop a relationship with somebody, and you know, you guys are going to be able to feed each other back and forth.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know if it makes sense to have 50 probate attorneys in your pocket that you're going to promise business to in
Right.
return for return business, and
Yeah.
you
Well,
can't
you-
feed 50 attorneys.
No, and
you
you
know?
can't maintain a relationship with that many either, right? Unless that's all you do. Unless you are like the real estate agent who deals with estates and all of your business comes from, you can't manage that as a database, right? By having a couple inside of your professional service provider database, your allied resources, right? That's great. Very similar to what we're going to cover today with agent to agent referrals. And we're gonna look at a couple of different techniques and ways to get in touch with this kind of class of allied resources and how you can build them into your database. Cool. So you, Michael, you've been having phone calls with your sphere regarding Red Day, so that give you a reason to reach out.
Yeah.
Having longer conversations than normal, or just longer conversations because now you're talking to your sphere instead of a less well-known prospect.
Yeah. I think it's because of the sphere.
Okay.
But it's good. They're like, yeah, we've been thinking about selling, or hey, I'm gonna have my friend call you.
Yeah. Always good to reach out. Well, and the reason I ask is because I've noticed over time that sometimes my conversations get longer inside of my sphere when there's wacky things going on in the world. Because that impacts people's lives, right? Like in COVID, when folks were like staying home or getting laid off or on a furlough from work or whatever they were dealing with, those conversations were long, right? Last year, when we kind of started, COVID restrictions started piling up again, and it felt like we were almost going backwards there for a couple of weeks, conversations got long again because people had a lot more uncertainty about what was happening in the world and a lot of those pieces. So I wasn't sure if these were new conversations or if they were just on because it was your sphere.
I think just sphere.
Yeah.
Like one client, I mean, it's my fault, but I haven't talked to her for 2 years.
So of course you're on the phone for forever, yeah.
So,
Gwen, how was your Legion?
I'm doing a lot of follow-up when we're trying to clean up my, the database that I can't actually get to. So that's what we've been doing, this morning particularly.
You can't get to it physically because you're like locked out of it for some reason, or you can't get to it because you just keep running out of time and you put it on the back burner?
Yeah, I still have a lot of, I just back burnered a lot of stuff, you know, it was over 5,000, now we're down to 3 something. And sorting people into, these are the people I really can get to and can have a meaningful relationship with. And then the other people, where are they really? Do they stay here and just get the neighborhood nurture because I don't even know who they are possibly, but I have all their information, so it's hard for me to delete them, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Back over, see I'm on this again, all right. Track your numbers in your lead gen. Use some sort of daily tracker and long-term tracker. Turn your box green on the snap habit. That sure has been a lot of fun to not have any idea what we're doing on there, but I enjoy it. Every time I post something and you guys are like, yes. I don't know what it means, but I'm sure I'm glad that you guys see it and support me in those efforts, right? Develop your skills. So this week, if you are keeping up with the reading lists, you should be wrapping up the Go Giver so that on Monday we can start exactly what to say. Exactly what to say is an itty bitty book that's going to be more like a resource guide. Keep it next to you like you used to a dictionary or a thesaurus back in the day. You're gonna really like that one. Anybody do the Go Giver this week? Anybody read it?
fun.
That's the first step.
We're trying to get through that conversation book.
Which one? Fierce conversation?
Talking to strangers.
Talking to strangers.
It's not what I expected.
No, I think I put that one on my list because I think we talked about it. Let's see if I did. I need something new to listen to right now. What we should know about all of the people we don't know. Interesting. What are you taking away from that? Has it been worth it? Are you gonna finish it? I have a handful of books I never finished because I got the gist of it and I was done.
Yeah, I'll finish it. You know, he talks about why we react or come to the conclusions that we do. You know, like right now, he's talking about the Amanda Knox case. You know what I'm talking about? It's that American citizen in Italy, and she was tried and convicted of murder. And
Yeah.
then, you know, 8 years later, the Italian Supreme Court ruled that she was actually innocent and let her go. But yet, even when they let her go, there's still a crowd of people out front, you know, saying she should have never been let go. And they're protesting, and you know, they still believe she was a murderer and stuff. And like, why did the Italian authorities come to the conclusion that she was guilty? I thought it was going to be a book on how to have a conversation with a stranger.
Yes.
But it's a book about you know, why people react the way they do.
Yeah, the stories people tell themselves about the way they experience the world. Still interesting, yeah. Okay.
Like, he just got done talking about Bernie Madoff. And how did Bernie Madoff get away with scamming people for so long?
Right, yeah,
Like he says there was a whistleblower who called the SEC and warned the SEC 10 years before they actually went after Bernie and discovered what happened. And he was like, people at SEC was like, man, that's Bernie Madoff, right? There's no way he's a crook. And everybody tells themselves that story, like it's Bernie, like
right,
there's no way, right?
right.
But this whistleblower was like, there's no way he's making the money he's making. SEC, you gotta look into it. SEC stops by, talks to Bernie, Bernie's charismatic. SEC's like, there's nothing going on here.
Right.
Then it all falls apart.
Wow. Yeah, on my list. Sounds interesting. If you read only one book, this whole thing, it's exactly what to say. It is next week's book. All of them are good. Shift, obviously, that's been the foundation of everything we do. You should read that. You should read that for your business all the time. Always be reading Shift, practicing those core principles, putting them into place, right? The Go Giver, great concept. Yet I think we are all human beings who react like human beings. So we understand the concept of coming from contribution and reciprocity and giving to be able to receive and treating people how we want to be treated and all of those things. The Go Giver is some great examples of that. It's a lovely parable. It's a really, really good encourager. Follow up and close the sale. That is a stellar read. I got a ton of awesome ideas out of that. The moral of the story, you should follow up with people. It will help you close the sale. There's no twist in that. There's no special, let's say this magic word and it will automatically happen for you. Nope. It's like, as a sales professional, this is your job. Wake up every day and do your job, or you don't deserve the paycheck, right? That's follow up and close the sale. Not like that. It's not like harsh or preachy or anything like that. It's very strategic, lots of tactics in there, a little bit of encouragement, right? But that's the core piece. Exactly what to say is literally key words and phrases of exactly what to say. It's very tactical. It's also really small. You're going to use some of those pieces over and over and over and over and over again. You probably already, without knowing it, use some of those like magical words and phrases in everyday conversation, but it's going to help you be strategic about it and think about how you're crafting your conversation, how you're responding, the words that you're using and why they have an impact. Stellar. Read that one for sure. You can listen to it in the car, but then have the book to refer back to. For sure. All right. When this opens up, we're gonna start talking a little bit about agent-to-agent referrals. We have some materials. We are really gonna quickly walk through why behind agent-to-agent referrals, why this is a magical subset of a lead generatable population. And then we're gonna talk a little bit about some specifics and some strategic ways that you can approach this. Some do's and don'ts, some ways to kind of win inside of this population. And then you can decide how you want to utilize this. If you want this to be like an arm of your business, you can fully flesh this out, doing very similar things to what you're already doing. So it's not a very hard lead generation arm to build. However, even if you're not going to build this out as a full-fledged lead generation machine, right? You can utilize some of the principles on this for those situations where working with another agent collaboratively is a good idea, and agent to agent referrals show up. So take a look at it.
See, I struggle with agent to agent referrals because unlike a divorce attorney who's all his clients are getting divorced, he's gonna have referrals, right? Like, how do I know this agent in Dallas is gonna have somebody moving to Denver?
Well, I think that's part of the piece, and we're gonna talk a little bit about a vetting process to get into a relationship with the right agents, right? I think that's a really important piece. You want an agent who's also working a decent business. The higher producing agent you get into a relationship with, the more likelihood you're gonna have referrals. The surprising thing that I've seen is that it is kind of a reticular activator business. The more you have a relationship with an agent somewhere, the more referrals they're actually gonna have for you, because they start looking for that. It's weird how that shows up. But so it's worth having a little network of referral partners. They're not all gonna hit all the time. And there's some resources that you can use to be able to narrow that network down and shop for it. However, you can like hardcore kind of burn through agent to agent contacts without putting like a relationship-based system in place. You can cold call agents, and if you cold call agents enough, you'll end up with referrals. 2-ish years ago, was working with a mega agent who ended up doing the training around this in the market center after a real brief period. He was using the referral networking command, farming agent referrals out of the, not farming agent referrals, farming agents to create referral relationships out of the referral network. Set his admin on a call list to call all of those agents. In 100 agents that they farmed, they got 2 referrals. That in that calling session, right? Is that always gonna happen? Nope. Yeah, could it? Sure. Did they keep in relationship long-term with those agents? Nope. They just wanted to see how many referrals were there if they cold called an agent population. So that can happen too. It just depends. At the same time, all of the things here that we're gonna talk about for agent to agent referrals work really well inside of an allied resource database too, right? If you have a professional business partner that you're sending business relationships back and forth to, if you have a business referral network, like a local BNI group or something like that, all of these pieces are similar. So we're going to cover all of those pieces and look at some different ways to be able to prospect and market to other agents as well. What's been successful and what to maybe stay away from. Maybe we'll share some experiences there too. So Mary's going to be mentioned a couple of times throughout this section. She works predominantly by agent referrals. So go ahead and read this and we'll take a look at what she says. So, because Mary keeps agent-to-agent referrals kind of as a forefront inside of her business, she's always aware of those extra opportunities, right? To create additional income, to be that connector for her clients. You know, then we look at the opportunity for referrals as a lead generation source and how sellers found their agents. These numbers granularly are going to be way off now, right? Like this is this material was written a long time ago. These aren't today's numbers, but the ratios are relatively the same. The stuff that's on the top of the list today is the same stuff that's been on the top of the list before. So if you look at a couple of pieces referred by another real estate broker, kind of right there in the middle of the list. Anybody else who's new to an area there, like missed out on an opportunity to get referred to the agent they worked with by an agent they've worked with previously, right? Or another agent that they know. So there's a lot of opportunity inside of agent to agent referrals. So Doris says not to leave money on the table, right? Agent to agent referrals, when you don't have a good referral network or you're not utilizing that, you're missing out on the other side of that transaction, particularly right now when there are a lot of people who are saying goodbye to Colorado, right? Or saying hello to the Denver metro area, right? So you're missing out on that piece. You're going to, I want to be able to, at the end, kind of go back and take a look at the referral network inside Command and how we use that. So I'm gonna move through some of the exercises a little bit here so that we have some time to be able to do that too. Giving and receiving referrals. And the language around it, this part can become really confusing, right? I gave someone a referral. Did I give them a referral to the client or am I giving them the check after that client closed and I have to pay a referral fee, right? That can be challenging, but really it's all about the referral. I'm giving you a referral to my clients or I'm receiving a referral from you to work with one of your clients. So that's the way that language moves, right? But it can be kind of confusing over time and you'll see different language depending on where you look. But here's how it customarily will work, right? If I have a client who, for whatever reason, needs a real estate agent, that's not me. Maybe geographically they're in a different place. Maybe they have a need that's in a specialty that I don't have a competency in, right? Like today, if you wanted to get into the commercial space, I'm not your guy, but I'm gonna refer you to a commercial agent, right? So if it's a competency, if it's geographically, outside of what I'm doing, or if I'm in an area, if I have a transaction where maybe my relationship to the seller is too close for me to become a transaction broker, for me to feel ethical about representing a buyer who comes in, I may refer that potential client on that transaction to another broker to represent that buyer as I represent the seller, right? Or I shouldn't be working with this client because for whatever reason, it's not a good fit. And before I completely destroy that relationship altogether, how about I pair them with somebody they could be a good fit with, right? All sorts of different reasons to refer business out or to receive a referral to business in. When you receive a referral or when you're giving one, it's almost always a hot lead. they're almost always ready right now to do business. They're usually past the nurture stage. That's why it makes sense to give a referral. The compensation agreement you have with the other agent though may be representative of where they are in that stage, right? So if you're still on the fence and maybe you are, maybe you aren't gonna move, then maybe I can, negotiate a lower referral fee for helping them because I'm gonna be nurturing them for a longer period of time than I would be as if, we just sold their home there and they need to buy something here. They're ready today to go out and buy a house. At that point, the referring agent, the original agent who's listing their home wherever they're moving from, may even ask for a higher referral fee back because they're ready to go, right? There's no conversion in that process. You have a live, ready, willing, and able client. Generally speaking, there's no predetermined amount that you pay for a referral or that one would receive for a referral. It's going to range. It says here between like 15 and 30%, but it might be a little lower or a little higher than that, depending on the quality of that referral, how ready to go they are, the other agent's involvement, all of those pieces. Most commonly, I will tell you, I see a 25% referral fee. Some agents even believe that is like standard, right? Like, oh, it's a 25% referral fee, or you're paying me the standard fee, right? They may use language like that. There is no standard fee. It's all open to negotiation. In fact, one of the things that you'll see agents do who are marketing for referral is they'll offer to pay a higher percentage. And they may even offer to pay a higher and like kind of random percentage just because it sticks out, right? Instead of paying you a 25% referral fee, work with me and I'll pay 28.36%. Why 28.36%? Because it's an odd random number that sticks out in your mind and is higher than 25%. Right? There's no magic to anything like that, but you'll see that kind of become like a marketing differentiation. It's not terribly common that you are actively competing for referrals, especially once you've generated that relationship with a referring agent. But initially, if you are competing for referrals, that might be a way to do it. However, as we get through the vetting process, most of the time when you're competing for referrals, it's going to be because the referring agent wants to make sure that they've got the right fit in the agent who's going to be taking care of their clients. And that's what I would recommend for you as well. Find somebody who's going to be the right fit. So why receive referrals? You're very likely going to get a ready customer. You're going to get a ready customer and you're still going to earn a high percentage of that commission. That customer then becomes your client and you have the opportunity to then turn them into repeat and referral business in addition to that. And because of that, if they're going to be, if they're going to become a buyer in your area, then, then you're going to continue your 36 touch, post-close program, just like you would have done with your buyer. And if you've done a great job with them, then that agent may refer even more people to you. And who knows why that person moved here? It might be the beginning of a whole family migrating from one part of the country to the next, right? I mean, first brother and sister or brother or sister comes, and then the other sibling comes, and then mom and dad have to be here too, right? So it could be something like that. And this also, it makes it a little bit easier to earn that potential client, that referrals business and respect, because you've already earned that for the agent who referred it over, right? So their trust and their validity when you moves over. The cons of receiving referrals is this can be a more expensive form of lead generation, yet it's paid after the fact generally, right? Because you're paying it as a form of a referral fee. So whatever your referral fee generally comes off of the top of the commission before any of your splits or anything like that would be considered. So you're not paying, this is not your taxable income, this is not your final 1099 income. The split comes off before that. When you accept a referral, respond immediately, particularly if this, I mean, either way. If this is someone you have a relationship with, maintain that great relationship by having immediate response. If this is not someone you have a relationship with, then consider this speed to lead. You're not the only person they've reached out to. Or if you are, you won't be for long if it takes you a long time to get back to them. Imagine this, their client just told them, you know what, I need somebody in Denver, who do you know? And they told their client, you know, I know a few people, let me follow up on this and I'll get back to you soon. Okay, do that because we're ready to start looking. Awesome. So what do? They immediately get into wherever they need to find your information and reach out to you. And if they don't get you immediately, they're going to move on to somebody else because their client has an immediate need, right? Love to work with buyers. You'll very likely get buyer referrals. That it's more common to know the agent in the area that you're selling your home, that you're listing your home, and then that agent will give you a buyer referral. It works the other way around sometimes, right? Especially, Ursulina, like you're not from here. So you may know people who are established back in North Carolina. California, other direction, completely other direction.
I mean, I lived in Georgia too, so.
It's still not North Carolina, so.
Closer.
But so here's the deal. So your established network in California, somebody in that world may know that you're in real estate and say, hey, you know what, we've actually been thinking about selling our house. Can you sell it here or do you just sell in Colorado? You know what, I just sell in Colorado, but I know people in California, let me connect you with someone great, right? So it does happen the other way around where, you know, where you get listing referrals too. Okay, so it would make sense for you to have a good network there where you're from, where you've been, and where you're pretty well established. You want to provide solutions along with an awesome experience. One of the keys to getting more referrals from an agent who you already got a referral from is do such a good job taking care of their clients that they hear about it. I mean, you can do a good job taking care of all of your clients, right? That would be great. And you really want to make sure that that agent is hearing about the experience that they had, right? That it was so good that they would do it again. Be committed to and capable of working with the referred customer. If you are going to be on vacation for the next month, it's not the right time for you to take a referral. Somebody who needs to be out here next week to buy a house. Don't take that referral and then refer it out again to somebody else in the office to show their home, right? I mean, technically you could, but I don't think you're doing a very good job with that relationship if you're doing it. So make sure that you're here to be able to take that referral. And know the resources in the area most of the time when you are receiving a referral. This is going to be somebody new to the area. And they're going to look at you for the expert on not just the house, but all of the things around the house. You can kind of build out a package for that if you're doing that business. Know where to go, how to direct them, what type of properties are available in what parts of town, and look at new homes and subdivisions and where to get the resources for them. Stay current on the market. And then communicate with the referring agent regularly and always pay the referral fee. This sounds like common sense. And it made it into the class because it's been an issue, right? This really does happen where an agent's like, wow, I don't have a signed referral form, right? Like where they're gonna nitpick with you, don't be that guy. Honor the referral, so what, they didn't sign the agreement when they were supposed to, technically maybe you don't owe it, you know ethically you owe it, pay the damn referral, right? Like be that agent instead. Don't be the one who's fighting over pennies, right? You want to be able to nurture that relationship over time and communicate updates. Don't make somebody have to reach out to you. Now, you definitely don't have to be probably calling that agent every day and saying, hey, this is what we did. But let them know, particularly let them know big milestones, like when you go under contract, when you're expecting to close, after you close, because they're gonna be looking for the checks to come. Something really interesting to note about referral checks is they are, if they're done right, they're made out to the brokerage. And oftentimes, if they're cut by the title company, they don't have your name on it. So we don't know it's a referral for you. It's just a referral for the brokerage. So if you're doing any referral type business, especially if you're receiving a referral fee because you sent a referral out, communicate with Bonnie in the MCA office to let her know you're expecting a referral, the approximate time you should be expecting it, right? Like middle of May. And the city you should be expecting it from, middle of May from Austin, Texas, or from Phoenix, or from something like that. That will help her put them together. And then in the event that, we get 2 checks from Phoenix in the middle of May for different agents, she'll reach out to both of you and you'll figure it out, right? But that's going to be pretty unknown. The pros of giving a referral, right? So giving an agent a referral obviously is highly leveraged income, right? So you're receiving that referral fee back from minimal work, right? If it's your seller who's moving out of state, you are no longer responsible for the buy side, right? You're going to stay in communication with that client or with that agent to make sure things work really well, and you're going to collect a referral fee, right? So you get to choose the agent. I think that's a really important piece. Customer will be well served because you're going to find somebody who works really well with them, particularly if you're doing something that requires the things to line up, right? If they're selling their house here and they want to buy there, but they, and they want to do them at the same time, you're gonna want somebody who's a professional, who can help make all of these things happen, who's going to have great communication with you, so that you can partner together on making sure that that deal gets closed. And when that agent has a great experience, they would want to reciprocate that and may send their next referral to you right this way. If your client is moving out of state and you have helped them with a referral, then that new agent is very likely going to follow up with them to renew repeat referral business. You may still get any referral business that they have here, but I mean, they've kind of moved away at that point. Still keep them in your 36 touch, still keep them in your database, still market to them because they know people here. If they moved from here, they can still help you with referrals, but just know that they'll also be in the database of a new agent, probably, right? I don't think that's a con, though. I think that's just expected. When you give referrals, make sure you understand the type of agent that will work well with your client, and then find that agent. There are several different ways to do it. We're going to talk about that. Communicate to them what your expectations are for communication, for working with those clients, how you expect them to be treated. And then you're going to follow up both with your client and with that agent through the process, right? To just make sure things are going well and that they got a great agent. Even though that agent doesn't represent you, the experience they have with them because you introduced them is going to reflect back on you, right? So if you just pick any old agent or the one who says they'll pay the highest referral fee, right? You may not be getting the best agent for your client. Create a win-win relationship. have agents in your database, communicate with them systematically over time, just like you would anyone else in your database, a past client, someone in your sphere, an allied resource, right? So you're going to communicate with them regularly. The method of communication may change a little bit, right? You're probably not popping by your referral agents, right? And your message is going to change a little bit as well. They don't really need to know, that it's time to blow out their sprinklers this year. But they may be interested in what's happening with the Denver metro area real estate market, right? In case that they do have clients, and so they can keep an eye on it. They may be interested on hot investment properties or deals that you have here, because they may have clients who are who invest in real estate and are looking for deals, right? So the type of marketing you're going to send to a real estate agent is just going to look different, right? Reap the rewards, we talked about that, right? When you've received a referral and you've successfully closed with that client, they become your client. You're going to get repeat and referral business from them as well. Some ways to make it some reasons why this can be easy, right? Real estate agents are plentiful and they are all over the place. They certainly are, and they live in a database somewhere. They might live in a state licensing database. They live inside of Command, so we can find KW referrals. It makes it pretty easy. There are also different kind of more specialty groups for agents where you can further refine those referral sources. Agents get it, they understand the benefits of referring. And generally speaking, a good agent is going to appreciate the work you put in to developing that relationship and to finding them, right? They're going to see your email come across the inbox with a list of deals in the Denver metro area in case they have an investor who's looking at maybe, multifamily development or whatever it is you come across, right? And they're going to see that as a value add as opposed to spam, right? They're going to understand the nature of that relationship. Meeting your referral partners in person can be a benefit of going to in-person training events around the country, which is a great way to be able to do that. All of those pieces, let's see. Let's get to okay, qualifying your referrals, screening and qualifying. Some great qualifying questions, right? What do you love about what you do, right? You probably don't want somebody who hates real estate taking care of their clients. Oh man, I got another freaking weekend showing houses. I don't want to do this, right? They're not going to probably give your clients service. What do you like better? Working with buyers or sellers. So go ahead through this list and identify maybe 3 or 4 good questions that you think would probably get you the information that you want out of that referral relationship. Who is it? Page 19. How would you identify that this is an agent that you would want to have a referral relationship with? Or if there's something that's not here, what else would you ask them? I sometimes like a really generic question to start, like, tell me about your business. Tell me about your real estate business. Because it can pretty easily help me identify, are they an individual agent who services all of their clients themselves? Are they an individual agent who's highly leveraged with a transaction coordinator or an administrative assistant and showing assistants? How involved are they? Are they on a team? Is this a personal team where, where they're still really involved with all of the clients? Are they going to be working with the client directly? Or is this more of an institutional team where my referral is going to go randomly to the team and one of the, up and coming buyer's agents or something is going to be working with them? And none of those is preferred over another, right? Those are all good solutions. Which is the right one for your client, right? I try and look for somebody who does business the way I do business, right? Because my client's going to be pretty familiar with the way I do business. So I'm going to want somebody who does business really similarly, right? That would probably be a really good fit. I may also look at that agent and do they have a referral network? Is this something that they do a lot of? And if so, do they already have a really strong referral partner in the Denver metro area? Or if this is a good fit, would I become your referral partner, right? Somebody who already sends a lot of business to Denver and is working with this agent and this agent and that agent will gladly take your referral, right? Absolutely, but may not send them to you. You're going to have to win against those other agents to receive referrals from them. So I'm always curious about that particularly when I'm looking to build a relationship, a referral relationship back and forth. What else do you think you guys would be curious about? You go ahead and hop off mute if you want to.
Hey, Anna.
Mhm.
I had a referral I sent out and thought I vetted 2 different agents, 1 team, 2 agents. I thought, oh, this will be great because I'll have some choices in the team. It's a pretty well-known team. And oddly enough, what I should have asked is how they like to run their business as far as like showings and weekends and what boundaries they put up around their business. I had spoiled this lady because I have no boundaries. And so she expected the same thing. So we went through, she bought a house now, but had to go through 2 other agents to get to the one who acted more like me where she just jumped. So that's now something that I'm going to be looking to ask is how you run your business around weekends and showings and when somebody's really anxious to get into a house.
Yeah, that's a great, yep. Yep. What else?
Maybe you ask about their volume.
What does your business look like? How many homes are you selling? It doesn't throw any candy, shut up, huh? Oh.
So when I go on to Command and look for a referral, I filter it so they're only MAPS clients. I don't know if that's really fair, but fortunately or unfortunately, I just feel like they're already in some sort of coaching.
Yeah.
So they're already at a different level, perhaps.
Yeah, and they're growth minded, they're serious about their business.
Right.
At some level, they want their business to be better than it was yesterday, right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, different ways that you can find the right agent. Okay, so let's say you're just looking for an agent to field a referral piece, right? A great way to be able to do that is find the market center that geographically is going to support where they want to go. And you can find this on KW Connect. in the white pages, you can search for market centers around cities or zip codes or the state. And it will give you the leadership's information, and you want to connect with the team leader at that market center. And this is what happens when people connect with me. I learn a little bit more about the agent and about the client that they're looking for. And I connect them to an agent who I identify as fitting that in our market center. Typically, that's going to be an AOC agent or something like that, and I'm going to make that connection based off of that conversation. You can do that same thing with the team leader. So you're going to get agents who are involved in the market center, who are involved in their business, who can fit that criteria, and that team leader can kind of help you vet the right agent based on who it is you're looking for. So that's a really great resource too. I find that that's a really good go-to if you're specifically looking for something for this one client. But if you're looking to create referral relationships kind of large scale and farm a referral network, that creates, I think, an extra step and an extra barrier to entry, and it's probably not going to be the most efficient way for you to build your referral network. It could be though, because the team leader might know other agents who have strong referral networks and referral business. And if that's specifically who you're looking to get a hold of, you know, they may be able to connect you there, but unless you have an actual, you know, earning referral, right? So we already talked about referral fees being negotiable, right? So you can work that out with the agent ahead of time. Either, like, regardless of where you land on the referral fee, if you land at 25% or north or south of that, make sure you fill out a referral form. If you're passing this referral through KW Command, that referral network, you can pass it in such a way that you agree to the referral. I would still hop into CTM, use the Damien referral form, and throw a signature field in there for the other agent. That's my go-to. You'll find many others in the world. There's some KW kind of sourced ones, and there's you know, generic ones out there in the world. I like that one in CTM that's Damien created, and I would 100% send it out to the other agent as soon as you're in agreement. I would not send it out. I would send it out before I connected that agent and my clients, and before I gave contact information. I'm gonna have that signed referral form, but I'm gonna go through that vetting process. I'm gonna get all of the verbal agreements. I'm gonna do all of those pieces, and then I'm gonna send out the referral form, and I'm gonna get that taken care of. And then I'm gonna make that connection between, you know, client and the agent, however it makes the most sense to do. Your client probably has a heads up that you're trying to find them, you know, somebody, so they're not gonna be off put when you make that introduction.
So if you're cold calling agents, what's the script sound like?
I got one the other day. I liked it. I don't know that I loved it.
Got West Brian, associate broker with California, Scottsdale, Arizona. I got your name and number from California mastery clientele list. And I just did with Jennifer, and based up here at Scottsdale. And we're going to be great friends, as you already tell. A lot of people moving between our states that got to be had. Feel free to give me a call back when you can. I would love to chat with you and get to learn more about your new business. Thank you. Bye.
I don't think it was anything, you know, magical or special. I am me, I work here. You are you work there. It looks like a lot of our people move from here to there. I'd like to get to know you and send referral business out. Now, so that was the win, right? You left me a voicemail, followed up with an email that said the same thing. Lovely. You know what I did? I called him back.
Oh, really?
You know what happened? Nothing. Still haven't heard back from him. I even texted him back and responded to the email. Still crickets,
Oh.
right? I wanted to invite him on today, share the experience and to meet more Denver agents to be referral partners with. I'm like, hey, your timing's great. Come on. You want referrals? We got referrals. Let's do it. And
Nothing.
and crickets, right? So here's what I suspect.
From somebody else.
Well, I don't think he had anybody.
Yeah.
I think he was probably until he talked to somebody, you know, and now maybe he has that person and that's fine. And they've got a relationship, or maybe he even got a hot referral, right? Maybe he even got a, you know what, actually, I have somebody who's gonna be looking in Scottsdale pretty soon, right? So all of those pieces, I don't think it has to be anything special. I don't think there's, I don't know that there has to be a hook or anything like that. You're gonna call a lot of the agents, and you're gonna get very few return phone calls, right? You're definitely going to call and talk to some agents who aren't gonna be interested, and they're gonna, you know, hey, I don't have time. And that's totally fine, but then we're gonna get the agent that's like, hey, I'm really glad you called. I don't have anybody yet, but I'd love to have a relationship there. Tell me a bit about Scottsdale, right? What is it like? Tell me about your business, right? And you're gonna have that conversation with them. You can, however, prospect to real estate agents just like you would to anybody else. Inside of the referral network, you can literally pick a farm. You can cultivate your agent relationships all around the US. You can add them to your referral network. With a little more work, you can take their information and add them to your actual database so that you can communicate with them systematically. And that's what I would do inside of this. If you're building an actual lead generation system around agent to agent referrals, I would build it pretty strategically with 1 or 2 solid agents in each of the big cities where people are moving to and from. And I would strategically market to and reach out to that database just like I do the database to get those the referrals coming in and use that piece. Years ago when one of the agents that I worked with, Jody, had a very solid referral network. She was part of a training and coaching group that traveled to all of the events, right? And they created this kind of tight-knit referral network of, you know, all of the folks who went to those events. Inside of those events, she had an American map on the wall, right? And little pins, and every place that she had a referral partner got a pin with their business card in it. So you could literally walk over to Texas and see Houston, and you would see the 3 pins of the people in Houston with their business cards and where she had, you know, referrals. So it was a really cool way to do that. And then every month she would send a Denver market update to everyone on her referral map, and she would stand in front of that map to do it. So it was very visual, and then you could see, like, you kind of peek around her a little bit and you'd be like, oh, I wonder where Houston people look my cards down there. Right. So it was a strategic piece. And so she, you know, we do our 36 touch, we have our Sphere newsletter, we're doing something every month, right? We talked about earlier this week when we built that out, putting together like an email touch that goes out every week. Sometimes it's our neighborhood nurture, sometimes it's a newsletter, sometimes it's whatever. You do the same thing inside of your referral network. And a market update is a great way to be able to do that, right? Video is going to work really, really well inside of this. For the agents that you choose inside of your network that you're going to have a great relationship with, right? You're going to be inside of that exclusive network for them too, right? So for them to get like a video email or a video text or something like that from you is really going to help set you apart. another benefit of that referral network is this is also your finger on the pulse of what's happening somewhere else, not just from a market perspective or for your clients, but like, what are people doing to win in their business? Right? That's a great way to break through the communication of that group, is just like we were talking about this morning, right? When come with an item of value, have something that benefits them in your marketing package. Do the same thing to your referral network, right? You just attended an awesome training, or like next week after you read exactly what to say, they're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like this 88-page book is a real winner. I'm gonna send it to everyone in my referral group. Do that, right? Send it out. It's like a $6 book. It's fine. You know, it can become an item of value that sets you apart inside of the business, right? You just failed forward and learned a really expensive lesson that cost you a deal, or, you know, or something like that. Share it, you know, create that community inside of your network, help others not fail forward the same way, right? All of those pieces. If you're going to a big training or event, see who else in your network is going, organize a face-to-face event of those inside of your group who are going. And then you can connect Houston to Orlando. They're both your referral people, but maybe they don't have referral people. Now you've built even more value inside of your referral network, right? Because you're the connector inside of your network. And then people start to come to you, right? Who do you know? Hey, I know you know everybody. Who do you know in New York? Because I need a great agent in New York. And this is your Houston person calling you, right? And so now you're connecting them, you're building even more value into it. So there's so many ways that works together. You're already speaking the same language. The challenge is to find the agent that speaks that language with you. And so you're gonna have to go through a few duds. You have to kind of mine this database to find it. You're gonna call and have some phone calls. You're gonna send out emails and they're not gonna call back, right? But then you're gonna connect with one or two of them that are gonna be on that wavelength, right? So strategically over time, you can put some work into it like that. A way to back into a referral network is if you start going to these events, you're gonna meet people, they're gonna default into your network because you already have that in common, right? You were both at this training event in Austin in August, and they're in Florida and you're here, and so you have that in common, right? So now you can put them in your database and start building a relationship from there. So that's another way to back into it. And the way most people, I think, start to build their referral networks, instead of cold calling through a list of agents in that town, they accidentally meet or strategically accidentally meet somebody in that town. Now they have a referral partner in that town, right? And then you add even more value to that referral partner, because when somebody's on our Facebook page saying, who do you know in Houston who's awesome, you're Johnny on the spot with, I know this guy. They're great, right? And now you're building even more value in that guy. There we go. Attending events takes away time from my business. No, you know, so Keller Williams holds these two big convention style events every year, and masterminds in between them and all of that stuff. And they can be a little bit expensive. They take a few days away from your business. Yet if you're purposeful about it, you can receive a referral every time you attend one of those events. But you'll also grow your referral network. You start to meet people, and then you can accidentally back into it, right? So attend those events with a purpose, collect information from as many agents as possible, and then go through more of a vetting process to get them on the same page. When you do that, not that I have to tell any of the people here, I've been to a lot of these events, and there's always like that guy. There's that real estate agent who shows up in such a way where you feel like this is the first time they've ever been away from home, and you know, and they're not dressed appropriately. They're not appropriately sober at the right times, right? You know,
Look at me.
I just looked that way, right? But they're showing up to the breakfast event with one too many mimosas, and so it is what it is, right? But there's always that guy Just don't be that guy unless it's that guy in a good way, right? You want to be memorable and noticeable when you're going to these events. There's lots of kitschy things that real estate agents do to stand out. And help make them the noticeable referral partner for that place. And you know, some of those work, some of those don't. The key is to have actual conversations and develop relationships with people. That's going to work the best. But some people will create small items of value with all of their information on it, right? Like a hand sanitizer or a key fob or a something, right? Instead of a business card. So when I introduce myself to you, you're getting that small item of value. It's going to help you stand out. Maybe it's a little unique or goofy or silly or something like that, right? A lot of times it's like things shaped like the state you serve. That doesn't work very well with Colorado because we're just square, right? People can't tell that that's the state of Colorado. They just think you gave them a square thing, right? But like Wisconsin, that works really well. You know, it has a unique shape. California, that probably won't work well, right? But so those types of pieces, sometimes people were like, t-shirts, you know, maybe with like a QR code on it that says, you know, like, hey, I'm your Denver connection, scan the QR code, right? So there's no relationship there, but it's kitschy, maybe it's a little memorable. If you pair that kitschy and memorable along with a conversation that develops a relationship, then you have something. You can't just walk around all day with a QR code on your back and expect business to come from it if you don't actually like talk to people, right? So if you're attending events, have a purposeful plan of action around the referrals you'll get on that event, not just the training or professional support that you're getting from that event. And then market after the event, follow up. At some point earlier this week, I shared that I've literally sent like bankers, or not bankers, but like manila envelopes full of business cards into somebody on Fiverr and they put them in my database. You could also like, you can scan business cards, do it with your phone, any of those things, but you want to get those small items of value or business cards or whatever it is you just collected from that event. You need to get it into your database so that you can start vetting them, communicating with them systematically, and build your actual network. Otherwise, the chances that they're going to remember you are way slimmer, right? So you've got to do the post work after that. No one does. No one does the post work after that, right? So even if they met 25 people from Denver at that event, you are probably going to be the only one. Maybe there's one more, but there are not going to be 25 people who send them a follow-up email that said, hey, it was great to meet you this weekend, or a video text message, hey, wanted to make sure you remembered it was me that you met, right? You know, what an awesome event that was. I can't wait to see you. Oh, by the way, I'm here for all of your Denver area referrals, right? Everyone's moving to Colorado, I bet you're going to, right? I mean, it's true, right? So you're going to want to put them onto an amended version of what you just created this week for your buyers and sellers, your 8x8 and your 36 touch. The message and the method are going to be different. You're not going to be doing any pop buys for them, but you may be sending them small items of value depending on the size of your referral network and how well you're working with them. Something that's going to be more professional in nature though, right? You're going to be sending them things that are business related. They're going to help them, especially when if you're finding people in the MAPS group that are definitely growth minded, then what are the things you're doing to grow yourself and your business? Share that with others, right? And you'll see it all the time in like the Facebook mafia groups, right? Where they have kind of.
Does she know what a Facebook mafia group is?
So yeah, we'll talk about Facebook mafia groups. But you'll see that they've named their group something and now they have the branded thing and then they have the networking event at the family reunion, right? And it's all for those groups. But these Facebook referral networking groups, they are intense, highly competitive, places where real estate agents compete for those referral relationships. So somebody may post in a Facebook networking or Facebook referral group, hey, I'm looking for an agent in Denver, right? And Ursulina, you would not raise your hand and say, I'm an agent in Denver. You would wait until 4 of your referral partners around the country said, oh, you should work with Ursulina Booker in Denver. She's amazing. I second that. Ursulina's great, right? And then you chime up and you say, hi, I just DM'd you, right? Okay, that's the anatomy of a Facebook mafia. How does all of that happen, right? Well, those are your strategic referral partners. So maybe you already have a relationship with them and you have you do the same thing when their name comes up. You're like, oh, work with Houston. Houston's amazing, right? You may have never worked with Houston, but you've got that agreement, so you're gonna make that happen. Here's what else people do. Pay to play. They're gonna pay the people who say, yes, yes, yes. Work with them. So it's not a very, I don't know, not everybody's in there, right? It's a real competitive kind of thing. It's definitely not for everybody. But you can check them out. You can join all sorts of Facebook referral groups for real estate. If you look at that and feel them out and just kind of see. Every now and again, you do accidentally win one. Right, because someone will join one and they don't understand how it works. And you know, and then you're like the 25th person down and you're like, oh, nobody's calling, nobody's, you know, nobody's boosting me or recommending me, but I'm gonna just go ahead and say, hey, I work in Denver, well, I just DM'd you, and you're gonna DM them, and they're gonna call you back and actually interview you and do the right thing for the client. That absolutely does happen. Not as often as all of the other stuff though. Yeah. 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 Are you in any Facebook referral groups, like religiously? These people who are on it, I tell you what, like they are already on the spot. Like it is, they work those things. They work that, and they have a lot of success doing it, right? Or they stop doing it, you know, because it's like anything else. It works to the extent that you work it. And they're lovingly referred to as the Facebook mafias. No. In our world. I'm sure there are other Facebook mafias in other industries. People who know you don't have to be reminded you were in the real estate business. Yes, they do, even if they are other real estate agents or if they live somewhere else. One of the biggest myths that I hear is, well, I don't work there or I don't live there anymore. I can't do business there, right? Or like, I don't know anybody here. I'm not going to market to my people there because I can't sell them. Yeah, you can connect them to somebody who can know, right? So I think that's a big piece too, to farm those out. So let's, I don't know, what do you think? Do you guys want to dive in and take a look at how you can kind of use command for this strategically? We haven't done much command stuff in this class, but I think on the referral round, it's worth at least getting started there. Remember how I get there and also.
I have something for Princess.
Oh, she'll love them.
I know. Yeah, I got these yesterday in a meeting, so
Yay.
I thought of her and I gotta
Yeah.
get these.
She like hasn't put that tape measure down.
Pardon me?
That tape measure.
Yeah.
Last week she hasn't like put it down.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
We have a realtor in the making. Okay, good job. So she's all set now. She has bling. See you guys later.
Bye, Donna.
I'll put this on your table.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Let's take a peek, see. All right, so in command. Where are my referrals? Right here. Okay, so a few things will happen. You can request a referral relationship to be a referral partner with somebody, and they can request to add you to their referral network too. So that's something that can happen inside command. But these are also all of the in and outgoing referrals in your world, or partners, your referral partners. And so let's play with Adrian here, who's a referral partner of mine. If I wanted to, I get all the stats, right? Here's Adrian's information. I can write a note about who Adrian is. That's awesome. Her bio, we'll see where that lives, where I can find that and where I can tweak that on my own. And referral statistics. It says coming soon, but if we had any referrals that have gone back and forth, we'd be able to see that here too. But if I send her a referral through here, I can tell her all of the things about it. But I'm not gonna do this part. I'm not gonna send her this referral until I've talked to her and vetted her and we have a verbal agreement on everything. And then I might send her this after I've done, like an actual referral agreement form, even though this is supposed to take the place of that. I feel like I want to have that actual written agreement with your signature on it so that I can send it to your employment broker and get my referral fee if it closes without you sending it to me. And I need to have something more tangible in that. But so all of that information, that's in there, and then I can put my clients in there as well. And then the cool thing about this is I'll then be able to see as they move that referral through their opportunities process. I'll be able to kind of see where that referral is. I won't be able to see the details. I'm not going to be able to see the contracts or any of the files or anything like that. I'll just be able to have an idea of where they are in the process. And then, so any of the referrals that I've got working, referrals that I'm actively working, those are the side. And you can send an update, you can do a lot of things right through here. Referrals that have been paid. My network, that's where I should go. These are all of the people that I've connected with or have connected with me. Okay. So they've asked to be a part of my network. In a perfect world, I'd be able to, from here, communicate to my referral network. And like send them emails or add them to my contacts list. I don't believe that that's the case. If anybody who knows differently wants to hop in and correct me, I don't think that I can at this point do that, communicate with them directly through here. But then if I'm going to grow my network, it takes me to the map page. So I can get there either way. I can go to my network and I can grow it, or I can go to the map. I'll be able to see a few things since it's right here. You know what I noticed the other day? Like there's no 5G in Nebraska.
There's no 5G in Nebraska.
Nebraska, isn't that weird? So I was watching a T-Mobile commercial, right? And they have the Verizon 5G overlay, and there's like barely any 5G, and then the T-Mobile picks up the pink overlay, and like the entire country turns pink, except for Nebraska. There's no 5G from T-Mobile in Nebraska. Really interesting. So I'm gonna keep Nebraska on here. We're just gonna see what they're doing. All right. So I can look at production. If I start zooming into a specific area, like let's say, give me a city I've heard of before, Lincoln, Nebraska. Let's go to Lincoln. If I zoom into Lincoln, I'm gonna start seeing people show up. And so I start to see these little dots everywhere if I go close enough. These dots are closed transactions. And each closed transaction affiliates with an agent. So see, I just highlighted this one and it turned 3 dots red. This one, that one, that one. They're all connected. They're the same agent. Okay. So if this agent, and it's a 12-month period, I believe, we're seeing transactions in the last 12 months of where we zoom to. If there's an agent that doesn't have a transaction in the last 12 months, you're not gonna find them in here. Okay, so that's one of the downsides about waiting to be found in the referral network, right? If you're a new agent and you don't have transactions in the last 12 months, you gotta go find people to build your network. You can't wait for them to find you. That's not proactive enough. But if you wanted to use this to build your network, that's how you do it. And so if I wanted to geographically narrow it, I could do it like that. And then here's all of the agents who have a dot on the screen here. Okay, they are in a random order, but I could also filter them. Now, Gwen had mentioned that she looks for agents who are part of the MAPS Mastery Client community. I could also look for agents who have earned the luxury designation, who are part of our commercial space or land or Keller Williams Young Professionals or expansion or military. And pretty soon we're supposed to have sports and entertainment on here and new homes, and all of the networks should have a button here so that you can filter through it. I can filter agents who have closed at least, however many transactions in the last 12 months, work with buyers, work with sellers, whatever. There's none of them. There's none of them here. It's because I'm zoomed in too tightly. I'd want to zoom out to all of them again. Look at that. Use fun, be my man. Here we go. And then when I click on the agent who I've selected, I'll get their contact information and their bio. I may also get their service areas, right? Where they work. In their bio, they might tell me something fantastic about loving to work for referrals, and maybe they offer that 28.36% referral fee or something like that. That would help them stand apart. I can see this guy's a 9x full graduate, right? I can't see Usman's production here. That's an option you have as an agent. You can show it or not. Okay. Some people find advantages to either way. So it's completely up to you, show it or not. If I weren't particularly excited about the production I'd have to show, I probably wouldn't show it, but otherwise I don't know that it would hurt me. But so I can do a couple of things right through here. This little file folder allows me to actually send him a referral right now. So let's say I looked at his bio, I talked to him, and we're in agreement. I can send him that referral information right through here, or I can add him. I can actually send him an invitation to join my referral network, and that's going to put him in my network here. What I love the most about this map, aside from I can go and find some agents on there for what I want, I can find a map of market centers. Where are the offices? So if I wanted to talk to a team leader, I could do that through here. I could see where my network is at around the country. Let's see where my network is all located. I have a whole lot of people here. Here I go. So I can see my network, the people that I've connected with. But I can also look at referral patterns. So it's set on Lone Tree, Colorado, and these are where are people moving to? And they're moving to Omaha, they're moving to Highland Ranch, right? They're moving to Orlando, to Albuquerque, right? So these might be places I want to have referral partners. Or if I click the other box, this is where people are moving from. So they're moving from Scottsdale and Prescott, and Austin, and Jupiter, Florida. That's kind of fun. This isn't statistically perfect. Okay, these are not actual migration patterns. These are not from, from like the Census Bureau, right? They're not actual migration patterns. These are referrals that have moved through the referral network. That's where it gets this number from. So it's imperfect for sure. It also is a pretty gosh darn good place to start. right? But just know that this is how the referrals are moving through, through here. So there are definitely some things that can skew this, right? Like, but it's a pretty good place to start. And then you can, dive in further. So, Jupiter, Florida, what are the top places where people are moving to in Jupiter, Florida? I don't know if that's gonna impact you, but in case you're curious about it. But then, you can zoom in to Jupiter, and you can start doing the same thing there, right? You can start taking a look at the agents by production in Jupiter, Florida. Start weeding through those lists for some of the top cities that you want to have referral partners in, and make some phone calls, add people to your database to start building that piece. Let's do it. Filter still on. Mastery clients, near Jupiter, Florida. Very cool. When you move them onto the command side, right, create a tag for them. It says they're a part of the referral network, and you can start working on, building out those touches and further creating that piece. Tuesday, if you're looking for some lead generation things to do, we'll be working on this cold calling through for a referral network. So calling agents on Tuesday for the referral network. So kind of picking a place and starting that conversation. So if that's something that you want to dive into, that will be the lead gen topic for Tuesday. And self-guided lead gen on Monday. So make sure before you call it a day today, you are planning for whatever lead gen you're doing on Monday. And that is what I got, my friends. Questions, comments, feedback? Did we specifically enough solve all of your referral network issues? Michael, you feel more confident about either diving into or not diving into a referral network as a piece of lead gen?
I think it's a cool idea. It's get a cyberbacker, just have a panel.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, a lot of this stuff is admin work. Sorting through the referral network itself, data mining, finding the right agents, starting that conversation. I mean, that cyberbacker could go through all of the cold calling of referral agents until you get those one or two that you're going to have the conversation with inside of that city, right? Here's some fun things. Inside of your professional referral network, I mean, we all understand. I ate one of those at the wrong time. Sorry, I thought I was done talking and then I was like, oh, I want to share those. Give me a second. I think we all understand the idea of rewarding the behavior, right? When somebody sends us a referral inside of our sphere or whatever, we're going to reward the fact that they sent it to us. And we're gonna do fun things like, you're gonna get a Starbucks gift card, or maybe I'm gonna treat you to dinner or something like that because you sent me a referral. Maximize that with your referral network. Make it more fun. Really incentivize that. Yes. Is it enough that they're going to get that referral feedback when you send the referral? Absolutely. But wouldn't it also be cool If they got a gift card to whatever the heck that was that you guys struck up a conversation about that one time you talked on the phone. Wouldn't that also be neat and kind of cement that relationship in their head? What do you know about them? What do you have in common? How could you help further that relationship, right? I think about this because I still have in those, well, it's very few and far between now. If an agent up in who used to be up in Jefferson, like the Jefferson Como Fairplay area, and she moved to Vegas and she didn't have anyone in Denver. So anyone that she ever had in Denver, she sent to me from Vegas via the mountains, right? And I sent my Vegas people out to her. She'd send me the most random stuff for sending her, just even like a far off referral that never closed or anything like that. She'd send me like $100 gift card to like the store at the mall, just like real randomy stuff.
She's regifted.
Maybe, it doesn't matter. It was unique enough that it it stuck out in my head and and so it created one of those pieces. So I don't know. Just things like that. This is kind of a special class of relationships inside of your database, should you choose to treat it like that. Should you choose to treat it like that, you'll probably end up connecting with other agents who do that. So treat them special, make it kind of a big deal. Put them on like a quarterly call plan, right? Check in and touch base, particularly since you guys are all really learning based and have a very collaborative spirit. Like you can once a quarter have an incredible conversation with a real estate agent across the country who's doing something different about business. I mean, that in itself is a huge connect, right? It's a huge way to add value to one another. It's a huge win for you. You're probably going to learn something so different than what you're already doing. Maybe it's going to be a great win for your business. Maybe they're going to learn something that you think is vanilla and ordinary that you're doing in your business that they think is amazing, right? Don't underestimate those relationships or put them to the bottom of the call list because it's just another real estate agent. Your past clients have no idea how often you intend to be calling them, but another real estate agent might have a pretty good idea if they're on your quarterly call plan and then you don't call them and then you do again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's almost added accountability to actually make it happen because they probably don't know exactly what you were intending on doing, but they might. I don't know. It's food for thought. Okay. That's all I got, guys. What else do you have? I promise that's all I have. Actually, I know, I'll just restart again in a second. Cool. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend.
Happy Friday.
We'll see you guys on Monday.